Meet Jackie Silver. She's 20 years old, and she's had a remarkable effect on people in the last few months as a result of an experience that you, Jackie, had a few months ago. Mm-hmm. An experience that changed her life, that transformed her. But let's back up and start from the beginning. You were born with a physical challenge.
Yes, I was born with a vascular malformation in my left leg, which means that the veins don't work properly. So as a result, the muscles are weaker, so the leg is weaker and I can't walk far distances. I'm limited in certain things like that.
But it made you, how did that make you feel growing up compared with the other kids?
Sometimes I used to feel like I was different and I always wanted to be normal and I wish that I never had anything wrong with me. But then some things that happened to me that we're going to talk about today really changed my way of thinking and made me realize that it's nothing to be embarrassed about and I am normal.
But for most of your life, you felt different.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And even though you did amazing things with that feeling and with the limitation, you went to Israel, to school.
Yeah, 2 years ago I went to Jerusalem for a year after I graduated high school to study at a seminary.
What was that like?
It was a really great experience. The rabbis and the teachers were amazing and I learned a lot and I traveled the country and it was
So in
great.
spite of a handicap, you traveled. And you went on your own, left your parents, and were independent. That's a strong urge in you. But you had another setback in grade 11. Tell us about it.
Yeah, at the end of 11th grade, I broke my leg, the leg that has the problem, and because of the circulation in the leg, it took 6 months to heal. So I was in a cast up to my mid-thigh for 6 months, and I had to change high schools. Like I had to move my bedroom downstairs. Everything changed for me.
And you had to stay home for how long?
I was at home for 3 months, the whole summer, and then I was able to go to school in a wheelchair.
But during that time, you must have been bored and depressed. And tell us what it was like for you, and what did you do during that time that you were forced to stay home?
Yeah, so I read a lot of books. I had friends visit me. I practiced baking, and people actually told me that they were so impressed how upbeat I was because I didn't get depressed. I wasn't down.
And you actually started a business.
Yeah, I have a baking business, a small thing that I do on the side.
A small thing you do on the side, as well as you're in university.
Yeah, I'm studying kinesiology at York University.
In your second year.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, you started the baking business. Tell us about the baking. What did you specialize in?
I do a lot of vegan desserts. I can also do gluten-free, whole wheat, egg-free, dairy-free, anything to accommodate allergies.
Are you still doing it?
A little bit. I'm very busy with other things, but a little bit.
Then another setback.
Yeah, so when I came back from Israel, my leg had weakened from not taking such good care of it while I was away.
Because you weren't that active because you were studying.
Yes, so my leg got a lot weaker and my hip went into a spasm and suddenly I had to walk with a walker instead of a cane. So that was a very difficult time for me after already having experienced the fracture, which was very difficult for me. So, yeah.
And that, again, confined you to the house?
No, I was able to go out to school, but even though I was still able to do normal activities, it was really hard for me. I felt down all the time. I was jealous that my friends were able to go out and be normal and I couldn't, and I couldn't be independent or take care of myself. It was very hard.
And how long did that last?
About 6 months.
How did you help yourself get through that?
Well, I made a gratitude list, and I wrote down all the things that I was able to do instead of what I was not able to do, and
Well, such as what? What
well,
was on the gratitude list?
that I was thankful I could see, hear, talk, feed myself, go to school, use my arms, my elbows, my fingers, everything that people usually take for granted. They don't realize that it's really important. And
So you focused on what you had, on what you were able to do, on instead of what was missing.
yes, because I realized that I was just focusing on what I couldn't do and what I wished I had and how I wished my leg could be. And I realized that that will get you nowhere. That'll just make you down and depressed. And that's not how you're supposed to live your life. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to go out and accomplish things. And you're supposed to be thankful for what you have. So I had to change my mindset.
So it sounds like there's a fierce need in you to be independent, to go your own way, to do things that you want to do.
Yeah, I really...
Is that what drives you?
Yeah, for everything I do, I have to tell myself that I can't let my my disabilities or my physical challenges stop me from going out and living my life. I really try to live the best life as possible.
You try to live the best life possible, and you've got strategies for doing that. And we'll find out about this when we come back. Jackie Silver, and an inspiration to everybody. But let's go back. How you started helping others. You started going out of your way to volunteer to help others. How did that begin?
Well, it started just over a year ago when I was in my first year of university and I was having all these problems with my leg, these setbacks, and my mom told me that in order to get out of my rut, I had to go out and help other people and not think about myself all the time, because that's what I was doing. So then I decided that I was going to start volunteering for a Jewish youth group called NCSY, and they have a weekly program that I would go every week and be a mentor to a high school student. And I started going to some Torah classes and seeing my friends more and just getting out of the house and not thinking about my situation. And that really helped me feel like I could make a difference in the world and help other people and make it seem like, my life is good.
What other volunteer activities do you do?
Well, that's the main thing that I'm...
The NCSY, and there's something about mentoring Judaically with other students?
That's for NCSY. I'm a mentor for a program where they set up university students with high school students, and we teach them about Judaism.
Does Judaism help? Does religion help? Are you ever mad at God? Why me? Why did this happen to me?
Well, religion has played a major part in my life, and
did you ever go through that though, being angry and bitter because you're targeted? And why me? And why did God do this to me?
I probably did have those feelings, but not to a large extent, because deep down I know that everything happens for a reason, and I know...
You believe that?
Yes. So I believe that there was a reason why these bad things were happening to me, and I worked hard at keeping my faith during the tough times in my life. It's something that I really had to work at.
Is there something in our teachings specifically that helped you on this journey?
I know something fundamental in Judaism is that you have to have faith in God and just believe that everything that's happening to you is for a reason. If you don't, at the time it might seem really bad, but eventually after, you may be able to look back in retrospect and see that all the things that happened to you in your life were meant to happen, and that it really couldn't have happened any other way. And now I'm able to see that.
and believe that all of this has a purpose to it.
Yeah.
And partly it's already happening, although you're only 20, because although you're a very shy person, I know because you told me, you're doing public speaking.
Yeah. I've started doing public speaking. My first time was just over a year ago, and then
How did you feel before
before
you started?
Part of me thought like that I was crazy. I didn't know why I was doing this, but I had, people encouraging me and pushing me, and then I know that it's something that I meant to do.
And so you've been doing it for a year now?
Yes. The first time was a year ago, and this year I did it a lot more. I spoke for Jewish high school students through NCSY, through their Hebrew school, and I went to a public school and spoke to the Jewish students there about overcoming adversity. I told them about my life story and the lessons that I've learned and the messages that I hope to impart to them.
You had a life-changing experience just a few months ago. And he's right there. There he is right there, Rick Hansen. You had a meeting with Rick Hansen.
Yeah, Rick Hansen is a famous Canadian. He, 25 years ago, he wheeled around the world in a wheelchair, and he's a big advocate for people with disabilities, and he's a motivational speaker. So a few months ago, I found out that he was coming to Toronto, and I went to the event that he was going to speak at, and before he began speaking, I went up to him and I started talking to him, and he told me that I could be a difference maker and really inspire other people, and that I have to focus on my abilities and not my disabilities. So that had a major impact on my life and my way of thinking, and I still carry that message with me now.
And look what you're doing. You're skiing?
Yeah, this summer I went cross-country sit skiing for the first time.
And what else?
Well, I swim. I go to the
there
gym.
You are skiing.
Yeah.
On a sled and with poles.
Because it's cross-country.
Had you ever done that before?
No, my first time was this winter. So that was exciting.
Is it because of that meeting with Rick Hansen? Did that open you up to pushing the boundaries, to trying new things?
Partly, yes, because meeting Rick Hansen made me realize that I have thousands of opportunities awaiting for me, and I could do anything that I want to do, that nothing has to stop me. So it encouraged me to become more active in certain things.
More about Jackie's life and what we can learn from her life. Jackie, you write, I believe that every single person in the world has his or her own challenges or personal disability. My disability is very obvious, but many people's disabilities are not.
Yeah, it's true that my disability is very obvious, and many people think that other people, they might, just because they look normal on the outside, they don't have any problems, but that's not true. People are arrogant, people suffer from shyness, people have conditions that you would never know on the outside that are really terrible. Every single person has their own set of challenges, and nobody's perfect, nobody can escape from this. And the test that we have is whether we choose to fixate on our challenges and let them bring us down and get us depressed, or if we choose to focus on our abilities and not our disabilities and go out and accomplish our goals. Because many of these challenges can affect people and really let people prevent themselves from going out and living their life. If somebody is intensely shy and they don't go out and meet people and just stay in their house all day, then they're letting their challenge stop them from living their life.
And you lead a very full life.